Hello, my name is Brielle Lillywhite. I'm a chemical engineering student at the Schulich School of Engineering, and today I will be presenting on auditing the impact of artificial intelligence and machine learning on the ability to have a good life, using well-being measures as a tool to investigate the views of undergraduate STEM students. Ability studies is the study of ability-based judgments, norms, and conflicts and their consequences. Ability expectations denote the abilities that one sees as nice to have, and ableism goes to the extreme of abilities seen as essential. Every social entity, from individuals to nations, generate their own ability expectations which influence their perception of themselves and others, and their perception of which abilities are needed to have a good life. Artificial intelligence and machine learning have many societal consequences. AI and ML will increasingly influence ability-based judgments, norms, and shape ability-based conflicts between these individuals, groups, and nations. AI and ML also impact the ability for humans to have a good life. Many well-being measures of a good life exist that cover different social determinants. Some may include social determinants of health and the Canadian Index of Well-being. AI and ML impact many of these indicators used by the well-being measures. Being literate on the social aspects of AI and ML and other science and technologies is an important aspect of AI and ML and engineering education too, although problems with achieving this goal are noted. So, the purpose of our study was to learn about the perspective of STEM students enrolled within one post-secondary institution on the ability to have a good life and the impact of AI and ML on the ability-based judgments, norms, and conflicts and the ability to have a good life. Our study used STEM students at a Canadian university program, and the data was collected using an online survey through the SurveyMonkey platform. Quantitative data was extracted and analyzed using SurveyMonkey's intrinsic frequency distribution analysis compatibility, and the qualitative data was exported into Atlas TI software for analysis. Now moving into the results of our study. You will see here the demographic of our survey. The age group mostly ranged from 18 to 30, and to the right you will see the field of study, the largest section in teal being the engineering community within the STEM field. When participants were asked whether they had a good life, 93% said yes and 7% said they were unsure. When they were asked if they knew what AI and ML was, 60% said yes, 28% said somewhat, and 10% said no. The STEM students were then asked what abilities they thought were needed to have a good life. There was answers presented such as basic living essentials, freedom, happiness and contentment, having a purpose, and more. And then when they were asked what factors they think impact the ability to have a good life, you see some similar answers and then some new, including mental well-being and physical well-being. Next, you see a table here with specific groups listed on the left and what STEM students saw as the impact of AI and ML on these groups in the moment and in the future. The bolded groups are the ones seen as impacted most positively, which include disabled people, the elderly, people of high income, and countries of the north. And you'll see to the right, in the future, the numbers increase. Next is a table that includes health indicators from the 4 measures. And highlighted is the column that is impacted only positive, which you see a large proportion of the STEM students indicated. Here are the social indicators from some of the 4 measures. These you'll see have highlighted numbers under the category of not impacted, and a large proportion you'll see under positive and negatively impacted. Our findings suggest that STEM students perceive having a good life to be dependent on both an individual's physical and mental well-being, the ability to have a purpose and achieve goals, and more as we discussed. STEM students also believe that AI and ML will have a more positive impact on one's ability to have a good life for some of the groups we mentioned, like disabled people and the elderly. The sentiment towards the indicators reflects a techno-optimistic view of the impact of AI and ML. And the ability expectation exercises that we used are a valuable tool to make visible the abilities that one takes for granted, ability conflicts, the trajectory of ability norms and consequences, and the different perceptions of ability-based risks or benefits of AI and ML. And lastly, the 4 sets of indicators of well-being measure that we use are a valuable tool to develop an inventory of the STEM students' perspectives. Our study can also be done covering other STEM students and students of different backgrounds. One can also change the procedure, and as you'll see listed below are some ways in which the survey can be done with interactions before or after the participant takes the survey. I would like to take a moment before I finish to acknowledge these organizations. And lastly, I would like to thank you for your time today to listen to my presentation, and I hope you have gained something new.